President-elect Joe Biden is preparing for his occupation in the White House as the next president of the United States. And this has prophetic implications in connection to the mark of the beast. That's what I'm going to be talking about in this video. But before I do that, check out my new Christian t-shirt. It says no matter who's president, Jesus is king. It comes in a variety of styles, sizes, and colors, like a t-shirt, a hoodie, and a long sleeve shirt. And there's also a mug, a smartphone case, and a few other items in my store with the same message. These shirts can be a good conversation starter to help you share your faith, and proceeds from your purchase help keep my channel going. Not to mention, I'm having a limited time sale now through Cyber Monday with a big 20% discount if you order now by clicking on the card in the upper right hand corner of the screen or the link in the video description. Now, in terms of how Joe Biden's presidency is connected to the mark of the beast. Joe Biden is a Catholic who is in support of Pope Francis's climate solutions, which include Sunday rest, and this is paving the way for the mark of the beast. For example, an online post entitled "Pope Francis Congratulates Joe Biden on Election Win" by Al Jazeera mentions that Pope Francis called Joe Biden after his election win to congratulate him, and it also states Biden said he hopes to work with Francis on issues such as climate change, poverty, and immigration. Pope Francis's solutions to climate change are outlined in his 2015 encyclical entitled Laudato Si, which means praise be to you. Some of those solutions are good and responsible, like avoiding the use of plastic and paper, reducing water consumption, using public transportation or carpooling, and planting trees. But then the Pope goes on to promote Sunday rest. On page 237 of Laudato Si, he says, "On Sunday, our participation in the Eucharist has special importance. Sunday, like the Jewish Sabbath, is meant to be a day which heals our relationships with God, with ourselves, with others, and with the world." Did you catch that? Observing the Sabbath on Sunday, that is resting on Sunday, will bring healing to the world. In other words, it helps reverse climate change. Pope Francis then goes on to say, "The law of weekly rest forbade work on the seventh day, so that your ox and your donkey may have rest, and the son of your maidservant and the stranger may be refreshed." Rest opens our eyes to the larger picture and gives us renewed sensitivity to the rights of others. And so the day of rest, centered on the Eucharist, sheds light on the whole week and motivates us to greater concern for nature and the poor. The Pope quoted the fourth commandment when he spoke of the law of weekly rest, and I wonder why he referred to the commandment as a law. I mean, it is part of the Ten Commandments law of God, but why didn't he just call it a commandment instead of a law? Maybe he's suggesting that we need a Sunday rest law. It wouldn't be the first time the Catholic Church said something to that effect. For example, the Catechism of the Catholic Church, paragraph number 2188 reads, "In respecting religious liberty and the common good of all, Christians should seek recognition of Sundays and the Church's holy days as legal holidays." In other words, Catholics should attempt to influence governments to pass laws mandating Sunday rest. Now, you may be asking yourself, what's the big deal? Isn't Sunday the Christian Sabbath anyway? I mean, if that's the case, it shouldn't conflict with the Bible or the Christian religion, right? But actually, Sunday is not the Sabbath. It's Saturday, and the Catholic Church admits to changing the Sabbath to Sunday and claims it is a mark of her authority. Exodus chapter 20 verses 8 through 10 says, "Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days you shall labor and do all your work, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord your God. In it you shall do no work." Keeping the seventh-day Sabbath holy is the fourth commandment, and the 10 Commandments were written on 2 tables of stone and given to the Jews several thousand years ago. Now, the Jews didn't have names for the days of the week like we do today. Instead, they numbered their days, and their seventh day corresponds to our Saturday. Evidence in support of this is the fact that the Jews have been keeping the same day as the Sabbath ever since they received the Ten Commandments, and the day they keep as the Sabbath today is Saturday. Also, the New Testament does not sanction a change of the Sabbath from Saturday to Sunday. You will not find one scripture in support of that. And if you believe that, or that is what you have been taught by your church, I invite you to post a Bible verse in the comments section under this video, which states the Sabbath has been changed from Saturday to Sunday. Many Christians have been taught that since Jesus resurrected on a Sunday, that makes Sunday the new Sabbath now. But you don't find a verse in support of that in the Bible. Instead, the Roman Catholic Church admits to making the change and says it is a mark of her authority. Here's a few quotes from Catholic sources that prove that. In the Convert's Catechism of Catholic Doctrine, we read, Question: which is the Sabbath day? Answer: Saturday is the Sabbath day. Question: why do we observe Sunday instead of Saturday? Answer: we observe Sunday instead of Saturday because the Catholic Church transferred the solemnity from Saturday to Sunday. Albert Smith, Chancellor of the Archdiocese of Baltimore, wrote, if Protestants would follow the Bible, they should worship God on the Sabbath day. By God is Saturday. In keeping the Sunday, they are following a law of the Catholic Church. And C.F. Thomas, Chancellor of Cardinal Gibbons, wrote, of course the Catholic Church claims that the change was her act. He's talking about the change of the Sabbath from Saturday to Sunday. And the act is a mark of her ecclesiastical power and authority in religious matters. A mark of her authority? Sound familiar? The mark of the beast? So the Catholic Church changed the Sabbath from Saturday to Sunday, and they say that by keeping Sunday holy as the Sabbath, you are submitting to the authority of the Catholic Church. Now, how does this relate to the mark of the beast, you may be asking? Well, honoring Sunday as the Sabbath is false worship, and Revelation chapter 14 tells us that the mark of the beast is an issue of false worship. Verses 9 through 10 says, if anyone worships the beast and his image and receives his mark on his forehead or on his hand, he himself shall also drink of the wine of the wrath of God, which is poured out full strength into the cup of his indignation. Notice, those who worship the beast receive his mark. Most Christians think the mark of the beast is something physical, like a microchip implant or a tattoo, but the Bible says that it's false worship. This is repeated in verse 11, stating, and the smoke of their torment ascends forever and ever, and they have no rest, day or night, who worship the beast and his image, and whoever receives the mark of his name. It's clear as day in the Bible. However, the Sunday Sabbath is not the mark of the beast now. It will only become the mark of the beast once it's enforced by law. Speaking of apostate Protestant America, symbolized by the lamb-like beast, Revelation chapter 13 verses 15 through 17 says, he was granted power to give breath to the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause. That means force as many as would not worship the image of the beast to be killed. He causes, again, forces, all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive a mark on their right hand or on their foreheads, and that no one may buy or sell except one who has the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. How does a nation speak? A nation speaks through its laws, so a Sunday worship law will be created in America to force people into false worship. There are no Sunday worship laws being enforced in the world right now. What's more, the Bible indicates that legislated Sunday worship will start in the United States. So until that happens, the Sunday Sabbath is not the mark of the beast. Also, you may have noticed in the verse that I just read, it says people will receive the mark of the beast on their right hand or on their forehead. That's why many Christians believe the mark of the beast will be something physical that will be implanted on our hands or tattooed on our foreheads. But the book of Revelation is a highly symbolic book, and a hand is a symbol for work, Ecclesiastes chapter 9 verse 10 tells us, "Whatever your hand finds to do, do it with your might, for there is no work or device or knowledge or wisdom in the grave where you are going." So those who receive the mark of the beast on their hand are those who do it so they can continue working, so they can continue buying and selling. And your forehead is where your mind is located. So those who receive the mark of the beast on their forehead are those who consent to it. They genuinely believe that it is something good because they are deceived by the devil. Now, as I said before, there are no Sunday worship laws being proposed in the United States or any other place I'm aware of for that matter. But there are Sunday closing laws. For example, in the country where I live, Poland, supermarkets and most places of business are closed on Sunday. The only things open are gas stations, bakeries, pharmacies, convenience stores, and some restaurants. Germany has basically the same Sunday closing laws as Poland. Some Canadian provinces have restrictions to some degree on Sunday shopping, and many states in the United States have reduced hours of operation on Sunday. For example, North Dakota requires stores to be closed from midnight to noon on Sunday. The District of Columbia prohibits liquor stores to sell alcohol on Sunday, and some states like Indiana and Pennsylvania prohibit dealerships from selling vehicles on Sunday. Sunday restrictions in the United States are remnants of blue laws, which are Sunday trade restrictions that date back to the 18th century. I believe that the Sunday closing laws that exist in numerous countries around the world will increase. In other words, more countries will adopt similar laws. And this is a precursor to the mark of the beast, enforced Sunday worship. And when the mark of the beast will be enforced, it will be easy for countries to apply it because they will already have Sunday closing laws in place, so it's not that big of a transition. But how will we go from Sunday closing laws to Sunday worship laws? That's a big jump. I mean, most people may be willing to accept Sunday closing laws for social and environmental reasons, but not everyone in the world is a Sunday-keeping Christian. I think a combination of things may contribute to turning Sunday closing laws into Sunday worship laws. One of those things may be increased natural disasters. Natural disasters like hurricanes and wildfires are attributed to man-made climate change. And countries around the world are already applying measures to decrease global warming and reverse climate change, like decreasing air pollution, better waste management, recycling, increasing renewable energy, and protecting wildlife. Now, while I do think these are good measures and they may lead to a better quality of life, with cleaner air for people to breathe and less waste, it's not going to stop major natural disasters. The Bible is clear about that. The Bible mentions several end-time signs. For example, Jesus said in Luke chapter 21 verse 25, "And there will be signs in the sun, in the moon, and in the stars, and on the earth, distress of nation, with perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring." The sea and the waves roar when there is a tsunami, storm, or hurricane. Acts chapter 2 verse 19 says, "I will show wonders in heaven above and signs in the earth beneath, blood and fire and vapor of smoke." So fires are also an end-time sign. This reminds me of the massive wildfires we have seen in recent years in Australia and the west coast of the United States. And speaking of some more signs of the end times, Jesus said in Matthew chapter 24 verses 7 through 8, "And there will be famines, pestilences, and earthquakes in various places. All these are the beginning of sorrows." The word sorrows here is translated from the Greek word odin, which means birth pains. Therefore, the Bible compares end-time signs to the pains, in other words, contractions, a woman has when she is going into labor. And the closer a woman gets to giving birth, the more frequent and intense her contractions become. So that means natural disasters are only going to increase with frequency and intensity, not decrease, no matter how hard people try to reverse climate change. So what we can expect in the near future is increased natural disasters with efforts to reverse them through climate action. But it's going to fail. And when people see their efforts are failing and disasters keep getting worse, they're going to say, we need to do more. We need to increase our efforts to reverse climate change. And Sunday promoting religious leaders like Pope Francis and some others will no doubt suggest making a Sunday worship law to appease the wrath of God, because a Sunday rest law is simply not enough. But I don't think it's going to stop there. That kind of suggestion may gain the support of Sunday-keeping Christians, but it probably won't convince the rest of the world. And that's when I think false miracles will be employed by the forces of evil, and the devil will even impersonate Jesus Christ to convince people that a Sunday worship law needs to be made. Jesus warned in Matthew chapter 24, verse 24, "For false Christs and false prophets will rise and show great signs and wonders to deceive, if possible, even the elect." And in reference to apostate Protestant America enforcing the mark of the beast, Revelation chapter 13 verses 13 through 14 says, "He performs great signs, so that he even makes fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. And he deceives those who dwell on the earth by those signs, which he was granted to do in the sight of the beast, telling those who dwell on the earth to make an image to the beast who was wounded by the sword and lived." The image of the beast symbolizes a church-state union. In other words, church and state will unite in America in the future. And verses 16 through 17 tell us what the result of that union will be. "He causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive a mark on their right hand or on their foreheads, and that no one may buy or sell, except one who has the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name." So false miracles will be performed to convince church and state to unite and enforce the mark of the beast. That is, false worship, which will be in the form of Sunday worship legislation. What I've mentioned in this video so far about end-time prophecies revolving around the mark of the beast is just the tip of the iceberg. In order to cover everything, I would have to write a book or make a whole series of videos, which actually may not be a bad idea. But in the meantime, if you want to get a deeper understanding of these and other vital Bible subjects, I highly recommend enrolling in a free online Bible course at AmazingBibleStudies.com. AmazingBibleStudies.com offers 2 free Bible courses called Storacles of Prophecy and Bible Answers. Storacles of Prophecy is a 24-lesson Bible course that uses the stories of the Bible to illustrate Bible prophecies, like the mark of the beast, the Antichrist, the second coming of Jesus, and much more. Bible Answers is a 27-lesson Bible course based on different subjects of the Bible, like salvation, the 10 Commandments, what will heaven be like, hellfire, and more. Click on the link in the video description to visit AmazingBibleStudies.com and enroll in one of these free online Bible courses today. President-elect Joe Biden has declared he wants to work with Pope Francis on issues such as climate change. Pope Francis's plan on reversing climate change is outlined in his encyclical Laudato Si'. And although there are some good suggestions in that encyclical, there is one very bad suggestion, and that is Sunday rest. The reason being is because the Bible indicates that this will eventually lead to Sunday worship laws, which will constitute the mark of the beast. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you're new and click the bell so you don't miss any of my future uploads. Click on the screen to check out some more of my videos. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to like it and share it. Thank you for watching, and God bless you.